Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello everybody and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. We hope you enjoyed your week off. We are back to racing here at Long Pond Speedway, or Pocono Raceway, here at Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Very short drive for me, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Joining me up in the broadcast booth is the one and only Mike Campiggio. Mike, how you doing, friend?
AJ, how we doing? Glad to be back off our week off that we had here. How was your time in Philly at WrestleMania, and how was the drive up here to the beautiful Pocono Mountains?
So, WrestleMania was great. The whole weekend phenomenal. Met a lot of wrestlers. Went to WrestleCon. Actually handed some Wrestling with Nerd merch to the Honky Tonk Man, which, if you guys have seen any of those episodes, he does a bump for us at the beginning of the show. So, a lot of fun. The drive, though, piece of cake. I love going through the country and everything, but I gotta tell you, the fog is horrendous in the morning. Absolutely horrendous. Couldn't see about 10 feet in front of my car.
Well, at least the drivers don't have to worry about that here this afternoon. At least
No
all
kidding.
fog burned out this morning.
No kidding. All I went back was like, so this is how Chris Buescher won.
You're right. But overall, good experience at WrestleMania. I know watching on TV, it was fantastic.
Dude, that was my third one that I've gone to. I went to 20, I went to 29, and now I went to 40. It just keeps getting better. And by far the best WrestleMania I've seen in a long time, especially night 2. But let's break down the race tonight. But before we do that, let's talk about races past. Mike, you want to take that tail of the tape for us?
Yeah, let's do it, AJ. Let's start back last year in 2023. EJ O'Rourke won the pole. Most laps led in that race was Justin Fuller by 45, and Justin finished third in that race. The winner was Trey Eitzen, and Trey started in 6th position in that race. Race had 3 leaders, 2 lead changes, 4 cautions for 12 laps. 2022, the race was 60 laps, the same as tonight. The pole was won by Pedro Mojica. Most laps led was by Bentley Glazer, but Bentley only finished in 23rd that evening. Winner was Daniel Falkingham, and Falkingham started in 2nd position in that race. That race had 5 leaders for 7 lead change, and that thing went caution-free. There was no race in 2021, but let's go back to 2020. They had 60 laps again in that race. The pole was done by Trey Eitzen. Most laps led was Trey Eitzen at 16. The winner was Brian Macklin, and Macklin started in 14th position in that race. They had 10 leaders, 16 lead changes, and 3 yellows for 9 laps in that race. And finally, 2019, they had 62 laps because they had 1 green-white checkered. 7 leaders, 12 lead changes, 6 cautions for 21 laps. The pole was Jason Jacoby. most laps led was Nicholas Conan at 25, and Nicholas went on to win that race after he started in third spot, AJ.
So before we get into qualifying, let's lock in our picks for this evening. Mike, who'd you go with?
Well, I'm going with the man that's been running very well recently, Chad Coleman in the number 38 truck. I feel like he's been gaining momentum here as the season's gone on, and I'm looking for good things out of Chad tonight.
Yeah, Chad is always really good at these technical racetracks. All three turns are completely different, and my pick is the one and only Brian Macklin. As qualifying is underway, Mike, take us through how to get around Pocono Raceway for a qualifying lap.
Well, AJ, you're really going to want to hit the turns perfectly, all three turns, and they're all three different sizes turns with different size bankings. That's why they call it the tricky triangle here. You really want to do is get up to speed as quick as you can, and you're going to be running the bottom all the way around for your qualifying lap, and you're going to want to stay as best you can to stay full throttle through the tunnel.
As we're looking at the 14 of Big Boss Man Joey Katina on the racetrack for his qualifying run. Very important to come out of these turns with a lot of momentum.
I was going to say too, AJ, depending on when you go out, since we only have 5 minutes for qualifying, you may only get one lap depending on how long you wait.
That's why we see everybody but 5 drivers on the racetrack right now. But let's break down the raceway. Pocono Raceway, turn 1, 14 degrees of banking. It was inspired by the Trenton Speedway. Turn 2, as Joey Katina is going right in it, is the tunnel turn, and it's 9 degrees of banking and Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Then turn 3, 6 degrees of banking. Trying to find that one.
While you're finding that, Joe Hudson just spun out through the tunnel turn, so he's going to have to restart his qualifying.
Well, the good thing is, if he doesn't hit anything, he should be good.
Did you find what you're looking for?
I'm trying to.
Well, while you're finding that, as Joey Katina. There you go. First lap, 13th quickest on that first lap. On pole right now, Bobby Wetzel at a 55.289, and Tommy Ryan sitting in second.
Bobby Wetzel spins out of one.
He did. Chad Coleman up there, right up to P4. Brian Macklin is in. That's
Turn
Sean
3 is the
Macklin.
Milwaukee Mile.
Oh, that's right.
The thing is, I had
Milwaukee.
everything squared away, ready to go, and then I accidentally closed the internet browser. I had to go re-find it.
As soon as you said internet, I thought of that meme back in the day where it was like, where'd you get that? Internet?
So, from Fairly Odd Parents.
Yep.
Tyler
As
Dolphin
soon as you
goes
said that.
P1. That's not a shocker. And then Justin Fuller, P2.
And that's not a shock either right there. Justin's been in good form here recently.
Justin is trying. He missed the first couple races of the season, but he has been on fire as of late.
I see Eric Arnold in 5th. John Schweikart back in that 01. Good to see him up there in 6th.
Richard Beasley to finish his qualifying attempt. Crosses the line. Does not improve.
And Brian Wertman is out there on track right now. Randy Yoakum coming through 3 to finish his first lap.
Oh, he got really tight.
That he did.
Hurt his lap? Oh, yes, it did. More than a half a second off the leader.
That's going to be interesting to see if he can get back around. We only have about 40 seconds left in this qualifying to see if he can get a second lap.
The issue
But
is, you can screw up turn 1 and turn 2. You need to nail turn 3.
And turn 3 is as tricky as turn 1. I mean, the tunnel turn is tricky too, but 1 and 3 is two different ends of the speedway, 2 different ends of banking, and it's just hard to nail that corner. Those corners every single lap.
I don't think Randy Yoakum's going to make it back in time. 10 seconds remaining.
I don't think so. It's going to be very close. And no, he will not.
Boom.
So close, though.
Oh, with that warm up, we're going to take a look at the series sponsor, TranService Trucking Logistics.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
We're back, everybody. Welcome to Pocono Raceway. It is time for the starting lineup for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. A little bit of a kudos note goes all the way to Tyler Dalton. This is his 200th pole in the Sim500. So congratulations to Tyler. Let's run down that starting lineup. Tyler Dalton and Justin Fuller in row 1. In row 2, you have Bobby Wetzel, Tommy Ryan. Row 3, Eric Arnold and John Schweinhart. Row 4, Chad Coleman and Sean Macklin. And rounding out that top 10 in row number 5, Richard Beasley and Robert Fieri. Mike, take us to 20.
All right, in 11th place, we got Scott Simley. In 12th place, Glenn Campbell. In 13th is Brian Macklin. In 14th is Wesley Donaldson. In 15th is Nelson Rivera. In 16th is Doy Woods. In 17th is Kevin Brown. In 18th is Brian Wertman. In 19th is Jeff Ryan. And rounding out your top 20 is Matthew Welzenbach.
You're going to see everybody roll through the rest of your screen. Mike, what are you expecting with this 60 laps around Pocono Raceway?
Well, AJ, if this race goes a little bit yellow-free for the most part, I'm expecting a lot of strategy and a lot of decisions to be made on when you pit and when you want to cut the race. Do you want to cut it in half? Do you want to cut it in thirds? Pocono's notorious for fuel strategy races, so I'm looking to see if we'll get one of those tonight. And then last year, that when we broadcast this race, we also had that lap 1, turn 1 off of turn 1 wreck. So we may or may not see an early yellow, but I also think, though, track position and clean air is going to mean a lot. As we saw, as I read the tail of the tape, there's not been many lead changes over the last couple of races.
No, there's not. So if you're up front, you're most likely to stay up front. But don't count your chickens before they hatch, because when we've wrecked, we've taken out a lot of good cars. And looking at the field right now, at least your top 10, you have 6 Chevys, 2 Toyotas, and 2 Fords within that top 10. So it looks like the Chevy's doing a really good job getting the trucks ready for Pocono Raceway. At least with qualifying, we'll just have to wait and see when it comes to race trim. But I'm excited. It's our first race back in 2 weeks. I no longer have strep throat, but I do have a cold for sitting out in 30-degree weather night 1 of WrestleMania. So fun. But I can't wait to throw these trucks under a green track at Pocono Raceway. Mike, you with me there?
I am, AJ. This is going to be a blast here.
Oh, pace car's about to duck for the first time tonight. And we are green. Already 3-4 wide.
Yeah, I was going to say that's back there by Joey Katina, the boss man. They were fanning out 3 and 4 wide back there as they thunder into turn 1.
Oh, Fuller is sent.
Oh, and Wetzel got... Oh, Fuller's in the wall.
He's going to lose a lot of positions here, but he's going to keep the truck going in the right direction. Everybody trying to get around him.
He's really stacking up that outside line here, going into the tunnel. Brian Macklin 3 wide with Wetzel up there, and Coleman contact. Oh, and here we go, AJ. We're going around.
Well, it wasn't turn 1 this time.
It was the tunnel, off the tunnel turn. Oh, that's a bunch of them, AJ. Elzenbach and Katina in the outside wall.
What happened here?
Looks like
Fury's already loose.
You can see right there a little bit as we go forward in this replay. You'll see Macklin and Wetzel make contact, and that kind of stacks them up.
Oh! The 77 gets punted by the 51 a little bit.
Oh, Joey in there hard. Kevin Stone in there hard. And as you see, AJ, when you get one truck sideways, especially in the short chute there, it clogs up the whole track.
Oh.
Oh, man. Welzenbach took a lick. I mean, he was riding like a cowboy right there.
On board with Welzenbach. That was a big hit. Let's see it from his point of view. And he's getting pushed from behind as well.
Yeah, he saw Joey Katina coming up there, and he got on the brakes, but he was getting pushed from behind. And when you see the wreck and somebody else doesn't see the wreck and they plow you into it, you're just along for a ride.
Nothing Welzenbach could have done there. He was out of the gas slowing up, but he just got pushed right through it. Or right into it.
Oh, we will count that as the big one.
Oh. A lot of trucks involved in that one.
And a lot of people on pit road, some of them probably to fix damage, and some of them maybe to top off on fuel this early in the race.
Like we have about 15 drivers sitting on pit road. Mike, I think you're right there with a lot of drivers just topping off and, you know, put in that extra lap and a half, 2 laps of fuel back in the truck. Which, who knows, might be the difference maker if we go green the rest of the way.
It very well could, and I would expect people too, before the pit road closes on the one to green, that they can get back in again and top off again with fuel.
Now, how often do you see that, especially with Pocono being such a big track? Do you see a lot of drivers do that? Because if that's the case, I would just come in that one time instead of twice.
It just depends really on who you are. I know some drivers would like to just do it the one time, but other drivers do it the second time. I know from my experiences in league races before, I've seen drivers do it the one time, or I have seen drivers that have done it twice under yellow before we gone green again.
We're doing about 2 minutes a lap under caution. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, about a couple minutes ago, we had the big one on lap 1 out of turn 2, the tunnel turn. Took out about, not took out, because they're probably still going to be able to run, but about 10 or so cars involved in that wreck. Your biggest hit, though, Robert Fieri, minus 16 positions, just getting back on the racetrack right now. But that just might be clearing as much damage as possible and going back on the racetrack to avoid going a lap down.
Yes. Looks like it's the pace car lights off there, AJ. Yes, that is.
There.
So sometimes I feel like pace laps here at Pocono take as long as they do at Daytona and Talladega, and then you sit there and you're like, okay, can we go back to green now?
Be like a NASCAR heat race. We're like on the backstretch, out of the tunnel turn, go.
It's gonna be interesting here on this restart to see if these boys are gonna take it a little bit more organized and calmly, or they're going to try to get as much track position as they can before they get strung out.
Yeah, because this is a big racetrack, and normally when we go green, you're lucky to see drivers right around each other. We get strung out pretty well.
Now the draft does do a little bit here for the trucks at Pocono, especially along the long straights. So there is a little bit of a draft here, but once we get going and get green flag pit stops, then we string out pretty well.
Well, for everybody watching at home, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you being here and enjoying Wednesday Night Thunder, the TranService Truck Series with the Sim500. Been a wild first couple laps so far. Pace car's about to duck down pit road once again. You have Tyler Dalton and Tommy Ryan on the front row here.
Man, green flag is in the air. We're back underway. Nobody really fanning out that time in the turn one.
Waiting to see the chaos, especially when we go into the tunnel turn, because it makes these trucks very uncomfortable to go through that tunnel turn 2 or 3 wide.
I got Macklin and Wetzel running side by side through the tunnel here.
Macklin with a really good tunnel keeps right on the side of Richard Beasley.
And we all made it through the tunnel that time.
The 18 can get a really good run out of turn 3. He's going to have a nice run down into turn 1. There he goes.
And then Beasley is going to slide up in front of Justin Fuller here to get back in the draft here as they go into turn 1.
How important is this draft down these long straightaways, Mike?
It can be very important, especially if you're trying to pass somebody and you have somebody behind you that can push you, because it's going to be easier when you pull out to get momentum and get past the guy if you have somebody pushing you. Glenn Campbell side by side with Kevin Brown here through the tunnel.
Welcome back, Kevin Brown. Not Kevin Brown, Glenn Campbell.
And now you see he's got Bobby Wetzel there pushing him a little bit with the draft, and you see how Glenn was able to get past Kevin Brown there with a little bit of help. And that's the example of what I was talking about. If you can get somebody to help you. Now I expect right here Kevin Brown, yep, he got the push. Now he's going to want Wesley to help him a little bit here with the push, but Wesley's going to say, no, I'm not going to help you. I'm going to help Glenn on that outside line.
Oh, the 91
right.
sent it.
He did send it. But right there, that as we were watching this, that's a perfect example of how the draft can benefit you and hurt you here.
Love that blimp cam.
We got a comment from the Peaks World talking about the side ticker.
Wanted to get a couple laps green before I started showing the rest of the.
Josh Parker was trying to get a move past Brian Wortman here in turn 1. They're side by side.
Josh Parker, a really good racer on the sim. Seen him in a good chunk of leagues. But the thing is, he's starting from just about 25th position. He's already up 9 spots. He's got a lot of work to do.
Well, he spun through that first yellow that we had, too, and it looks like he's got a new paint scheme this week. He's got DoorDash on the paint of that truck. I could go for some DoorDash. What are we DoorDashing here to the booth, AJ? What are we feeling?
I don't know. I'm craving pizza.
Ooh, let's do that.
especially New Haven people.
I'll get on it. We'll see if we can DoorDash something to the booth here.
Shit, good luck with that. All I do is pitcher Portnoy, one bite challenge.
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
At least Connecticut's known for the pizza.
That they are.
But this is what we were talking about. They're starting to get spread apart. And the runs are just starting to... Alright, how well do they get out of the tunnel? How well do they get out of turn 3? We're looking at Sean Macklin right now through the tunnel, closing in on Justin Fuller. And watch how good this 18 is going to get through turn 3. And if he does, look for him to be pretty close to the back bumper of the 51, as the 51 is loose in turn 3.
And it's very easy to overdrive the corners, especially going into turn 1 and turn 3. And that, if you do that, that's just going to kill your exit. And then later in the run, too, depending on how your tires are, the truck's going to want to drift up toward the outside wall off of 1 and off of 3.
Using that middle to low lane. Ooh, we gotta look a little bit further back here. Kevin Brown and the group that he's leading. Joe Hudson, Nelson Rivera, Brian Macklin, and Josh Parker. These guys are under a blanket.
That they are. And Brian, your pick, got a little bit of damage from that first wreck, so trying to make his way through. I know for a while there in real life, they did put some PJ1 and traction control down in turn 1 here at Pocono for a couple years there. They don't do it anymore.
I was gonna say, how well did that work out?
As well as you can imagine, really. It's like the same thing that they do at Phoenix in that turns 1 and 2 at Phoenix, but they don't do that anymore.
Josh Parker trying to use that outside lane to get around Nelson Rivera, and he does.
Now, if you can get that outside line to work, it can be a very good benefit for you. It's just, you got to use it with, how do I want to word it? You want to use it with caution, because using that outside line can wear up your tires even more.
Josh Parker has been the fastest truck on the racetrack the last couple laps. Before the last one, because he got stuck behind the 22 and had to make the move. Let's see if he can keep going with that, as he's catching Brian Macklin right now.
And Justin Fuller is dumping into the inside of Bobby Wetzel, and will be able to get that pass made there in turn 1. Top 3 is pretty close together with Striker, Ryan, and Dalton up there. Nobody making a move yet. Everybody's kind of just riding here.
Honestly, I think that's the best way to go about things, especially at a big racetrack like this. The top 3, not that they're pulling away by a whole lot, but they're not challenging each other, and they're just, all right, well, it's lap 12 coming to 13. Let's just get it till later in the race.
I don't know, we want to talk about the fuel window, the tire sets they have left in the pits there, AJ?
Well, I would assume it's like every week where they have 3 sets of tires, and they can go about 25 to 30 laps on fuel.
That's about right. You have, 3 sets of tires, and the fuel window about 25 to 32 laps, actually, in that fuel range. So it could be a one-stop race to get to the end, depending on how you want to play the fuel and the tire strategy.
The issue is, depending on where you are on the racetrack, because we've already slowed up just about a second from where we were running. Depending on where you are in the racetrack and what position you're in, do you test it? Do you come a little early to try to gain a slight advantage? As out of turn 4, Swinehart really loose. He might have tail slapped the wall.
Oh, you want to be within about 20-25 seconds of the leader, because if you pit early and you're not within that range, you will go a lap down. So you want to kind of time it when you're within about 20 to 25 seconds of the leader here at Pocono.
And just looking at a lot of the lines these drivers are running, it looks like they are searching for grip right now. Swinehart
Oh, here we go.
trying to go for the lead here.
This is going to be a tight pass here.
I don't know if the 19 overdrove turn 1, but he was well high in turn 1.
And Tommy Ryan didn't know who he wanted to go with right there. Oh, now he's going to... Oh, I thought he was going to make it 3 wide there for a second, but he's going to decide to push Schweikart here into turn 1.
Good to know I'm not the only one that thought he was going to try to put it 3 wide.
I think he did for just a second, but I think Schweikart did enough of a block there to cut that run out. These guys continue to run side by side. Is going to bring everybody else into this. Eric Arnold's closing in. Chad Coleman's closing in. Fuller's closing in here.
Yeah, the minute they went side by side, that's going to bring the next couple drivers right back up to him.
Ooh, Tommy did not get off the tunnel very well.
He's getting shoved into turn 3. Watch this run with Eric Arnold. Entered a little high. Gonna get a really good exit.
See how good of a run Tommy Ryan's going to get here. He's going to get a big push from Schweikart here. Will he have enough to pull out on Tyler Dalton here?
I don't think so.
He's going to have to set that up for turn 2, the tunnel. Chad Coleman looking to the inside of Arnold, but can't get that pass done. There we go. Tommy's jumping into that inside.
Definitely trying to make it work. Definitely putting on the pressure on the 19, but Swinehart's going to take that second position. Here comes Eric Arnold.
Oh, he's way out in the gray right now, but he's sticking with it. And he's got to run now. He's going to push Tommy Ryan here.
Yeah, if he would have pulled out a line and used that run, he probably could have made a pass there.
Here we go. Schweikart's getting the push, pulling out.
This is when it becomes fun, because then they're going to start bunny hopping each other.
This is the fun about the draft and fun about Pocono right here. I mean, you got top 6 basically under a blanket right here.
Justin Fuller making his way back up towards the front.
I think Tyler Dalton's got to feel like a little bit like Superman here, where he's like, "Hey, you guys can get side by side with me, but I can still hold you off."
Absolutely. Let's just see if that holds on the rest of the way.
The trucks are really going to go through a change here in the next few laps as the fuel burns off and we get a little bit deeper in the run on tires.
Looks we got a battle a little bit further back. 81 of Josh Parker trying to get by the 12 of Scott Simley. He's moving up. Still in that 16th position. Kind of hit a plateau there.
Tommy Ryan jumping into the inside here for the lead. Going to be side by side through the tunnel.
We have Eric Arnold in the draft.
Oh,
well.
Tommy's sliding up a little bit. Oh, we're going to check up a little bit here. We're going to be side by side for the first 4 positions here.
I can't even tell you who's going to come out of this.
Fuller's going to make it 3. Oh, I thought Fuller was going to make it 3 wide off the corner.
Oh.
Ryan a little bit loose. Schweikart's pushing Dalton. It's like a conga line right now, AJ.
This is insane.
Oh, Coleman. Yeah, Coleman got shoved up the racetrack by Eric Arnold. I think Tommy Ryan got a little bit of a bump there from Schweikart. I just killed Chad Coleman when he got shoved up the racetrack.
Absolutely. He's going to have to regroup and get it going again. This is fun. This is cool.
This
Honestly,
is definitely. I was gonna say this is definitely the closest I've seen the trucks for this long period of time in Pocono in my life.
Yeah.
On iRacing.
That's kind of where I was going to go with that. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen the trucks this close at Pocono, ever. A little battle for the lead. Whitehart trying again. It looks like that outside lane is really coming in. Now we're 2 seconds off our past lap times in this run. These trucks are really slowing down, and I think that's bringing the whole front of this field together.
Yeah, I think you're right there, AJ.
Chad Coleman trying to get it back towards the front, working over Eric Arnold right now. A little bit further back, Bobby Wetzel, Richard Beasley, and Wesley Donaldson. Ooh, the 91's loose.
Eric Arnold to the inside of Sean Macklin there. That is for fifth spot. Eric will pick that up. Ooh, Fuller had a huge run on Ryan. Had to check up off the corner.
Still looking for it in 3. Oh, we got a driver coming to pit road, John Swinehart. Can he be thinking this race in thirds?
He pulled some strategy right there, AJ. 22 laps in, coming to pit road.
Yes, he did.
Eric Arnold and Coleman are side by side again off the corner. Eric holds Chad off. Chad's getting the big push here from Sean Macklin as Tommy Ryan's looking for the lead here. Boy, they're getting sideways off that tunnel turn.
These tires are chewed up. See if we're gonna have any more takers down pit road. Out of the top couple. What's good about John Swinehart, when he pitted, he is not even in danger of going a lap down.
Oh, what he's gonna need now, AJ. He's need this thing to stay green. That's what he's gonna need. Justin Fuller, the man on the mission, up to P2.
Yeah, he's made it all the way back to P2 after falling, what, to 12th, 13th place?
Mm-hmm. See, Glenn Campbell's now up into this front group here. He's sitting 7th.
Comes Sean Macklin looking for a run to Eric Arnold. But as we're thinking about this top group here, got to give a huge shout out to that 51 Justin Justin Fuller fell all the way back to right around 13th and has clawed his way all the way back to second. Now, when he decides to come and pit, is going to be an absolute game changer if he can get ahead of that 19 or not.
It's very interesting to see what these guys are going to do here. It seems like nobody's pulling out the pass right now. Everybody's kind of just riding in line for the most part. Eric Arnold's getting a huge run here on Tommy Ryan. He had a better turn one than Tommy did.
Can this be a little bit of fuel strategy here?
It could be, yes, using the draft, because right now Tyler Dalton's using the most fuel out of all these guys, because everybody else that's in the draft that can save a little bit of fuel.
Because we just had a shot going all the way from turn 1 into turn 2, and they're all in one line together.
A lot of it depends on what these guys are doing with the throttle, too. The throttle control, and if any of these guys are shifting, too. Because you can shift at Pocono.
I completely forgot about them having the shift, or if they want to.
If they want to, but with the trucks, it's kind of hard with as low as RPM as they're getting in these things. But it can be done, especially in turn 3. Fuller's got a big run here. He's pulling out for the lead on Tyler Dalton. They're going to be side by side in the tunnel.
This is big. Fuller to the point.
Oh, it's not done yet. Tommy Ryan's coming with the big run here.
Oh boy, this is nuts.
Oh, contact.
Eric Arnold using the 19 up.
Oh, Tommy. Oh, I thought Tommy was going to try to slide up in front of Tyler Dalton there.
19 just kissed the wall, too.
Dalton's looking back for the lead here in the turn 1. Oh, he's going to slide up here. He's going to try to slide up. Justin's not going to allow him. They're going to be side by side off turn 1. Oh, this is going to be a good run down here in the tunnel here. We're going to be side by side.
Right before pit stops, they decide to get dangerous.
And if John Schweikart could see this, he'd be saying, stay single file, please.
At this point, he'd have to come in and pit all over again. Granted, it's only been 5 laps, but that is a lot of time on the race.
Oh, Dalton's going to slide in there. Oh, he's in the wall. Oh, Eric Arnold's wrecking. Caution's going to be out. Oh, Beasley's in it.
And that is exactly what Schweinhart did not want.
Oh. Yeah, Tyler just slid right up. That was going to be... Ooh.
Doesn't look like a lot of casualties, though. The race chat right now, AJ, is a little bit interesting here. Can you give us the censored version?
The censored version would be let's just say Eric Arnold's not happy with Tyler Dalton for sliding up there, and Tyler says that he got tight. That's about all I can say right now.
I'm guessing there's a couple
difference of
expletives in
opinions. Yeah, a little bit of difference of opinions though, and that incident there, it's late in the run. I mean, Eric's driving it in deep on the outside. Tyler's driving it in deep and sliding up the racetrack, and it was going to happen at some point. Somebody was going to have a coming together moment off one of these corners.
All right, everybody, we're going to take our first commercial break of the race. When we return, it'll be the restart from Pocono Raceway. You're watching All-Star 15 TV's broadcast of the Sim500 train.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
We're back, everybody. We just made it to the halfway point of this race. Multiple drivers coming back in, re-topping off on fuel. But for the most part, that's going to put them pretty far back in the running order. It did give the race lead to Tommy Ryan, followed by Glenn Campbell, Chad Coleman, Brian Macklin, and then Kevin Brown rounding out the top 5. Then to 10, Joe Hudson, Josh Parker, Scott Simley, Sean Macklin, and Brian Wertman as we are getting gridded up, getting ready to go. Mike, how's the race been so far?
It's been thoroughly entertaining, AJ, and for Pocono standards, it's been very, very well.
Something that I got to throw out there, because I was 100% not expecting all the tight racing at Pocono, because the last couple Pocono races I've broadcast, one guy gets out in front and it's literally follow the leader for the rest of the laps. This has been the most entertaining Pocono race I think I've ever seen, to be honest with you. And I can't wait to see what happens when we get further on in the race.
That pace car is hard left off, and we are back to green.
Great launch by Tommy Ryan. Chad Coleman's going to take that second position. Looks like Glenn Campbell not having a good restart. That's going to drop him all the way back to that 4th position. He's going to jump right in front of Josh Parker.
Oh, Joe Hudson a little bit sideways off turn 1. Ooh, Schweikart making it 3 wide.
Schweikart passing people left and right in the first couple turns of this restart.
Oh, there we go. Joe Hudson's. Oh, what a save. Don't keep it down there. Oh. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. I thought he had it saved, to be honest with you.
Let's take a look at this. Joe just
He's already
he
loose.
lost it. Yeah. And right. Oh, I see. He's pulling the wheel to the left, and that truck was just over rotating and back into traffic. But I mean, we saw he was turning it to the left.
From the blimp cam. See him really
that's-
loose. It's gone.
That was just tough for Wesley. I think it was Wesley Donaldson, and who was the other one?
The 45 of Paul Jr.
Just that's tough break for both of those guys. I mean, they had nowhere to go when Joe came up the racetrack.
Not at all. And Donaldson was having a pretty good race as well. I think Bobby Wetzel might have gotten involved. It says he crashed. He might have just came to a complete stop. For the most part, yeah. Wow. That was wild.
That was wild. That was pretty wild. I thought Joe did a heck of a job to save it from hitting the inside wall, and I was like, okay, it's like he's got this, and then all of a sudden it's just that hard right over rotating back to the right, and it was just like, oh.
It just yeeted back.
Yeah, it did.
Yeet, no yeet. Boy, that was a loud chant this week.
Yeah, it was. I bet.
Not a lot of drivers, let me rephrase that. A lot of drivers coming down pit road to either top off or take tires and fuel.
I think a lot of these guys are trying to make sure that they got enough fuel in there for a green-white checkered if possible here. And you're going to probably have the guys that stayed out clutching it and turning the engine off here on these pace laps.
Let's see if people are clutching it. Oh, absolutely. Race leader Tommy Ryan.
One, trying to make sure they can make it to the end on fuel, and two, save a little bit for a green white checkered if possible.
Now, how much, just take a caution period. How much fuel saving does clutching actually get you?
Depending on how long you do it and depending on where you're at, it can save you a lap or two, a couple laps. Just depends on the track, really. I mean, here at Pocono, it may save you, I don't want to say maybe a lap and a half, 2 laps.
Because I remember a Pocono race probably maybe 10 or so years, not more, where the last like 5 or 6 laps, it was running out of fuel, running out of fuel, running out of fuel, running out of fuel, running out of fuel.
You talking about the Matt Kenseth win in 2015?
Yes.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, he saved a good amount of fuel, and Logano and Busch and all those guys, yeah, they ran out. I wish that was an insane race. I wish we had a race like that again. That was insane.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, especially with these guys, if we get something like that. Because we've seen how good of races they have put on. And we also know how crazy these drivers are with trying to stretch the limits.
Yes. But that's what makes it for a good fan for us here in the booth and good for the fans at home.
The whole reason why I do it, I am a fan of racing. And I'm a fan of good racing. And when it comes to the Sim500, all you get is good racing. Just about a half a lap away from going green. Thank you everybody for tuning into the broadcast. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Can't wait to see how this race turns out in just about another 25 laps. Honestly, I can't wait to see everything get turned up to 11. Because if you thought they were side by side before, Mike, if we get close towards the end of this race, I wouldn't be surprised if we're bunny hopping every lap.
Oh yes, I would think we're gonna get to that point there, AJ. That's gonna make it even more exciting.
Well, pace car's about to duck for cover.
Yeah, about to duck to cover. We're gonna get the green flag back here, and we're gonna have about 26 laps to go.
There's green flag back in the air, and we are a go again. Brian Mack will try to use that middle to outside lane.
And Chad Coleman's going to try to get a push from Kevin Brown here on the bottom.
That was a little tight, side by side through the tunnel.
And Tommy Ryan is liking what he's seeing out that rearview mirror right now.
Absolutely. Good for Josh Parker. 25th to 5th right now. Good for him. Made a lot of spots up in the first run, and then using that strategy to continue to take chunks out of the running order as he's looking for P5 here.
And Schweikart got around Fieri back there. Schweikart's into, what is that, 8th place, 9th place now? He's into the top 10.
Now.
Oh, Fuller, 3 wide here, AJ.
Oh boy. Through the tunnel. Oh, not through the tunnel. Through turn 3.
Oh, trouble! Oh, my goodness. The faster pastor with a heavy hit. And Tyler Dalton had nowhere to go. Oh.
That's going to most likely end Tyler Dalton's night because he kills the pit road wall.
And the faster pastor just lost it. Oh, that is the worst angle you can hit those barriers with, AJ. Yeah, it looked like not Dalton. Benfield drove it in there, checked up for Simley, and then washed it up the racetrack with the air getting on the front of that truck, and yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Tyler Dalton blew the motor immediately on an impact.
Wow, this changes everything now.
Absolutely. Sitting on the pole to being wrecked out on lap 37. Wow. That was a monstrous hit. Let's see if we got any takers down pit road. Oh, wow. We're getting a lot of them.
Yep, this is coming in, topping off on fuel, 4 tires, and we should be good to go for the rest of the race.
Looking at everybody hitting pit road, you see a lot of them taking tires. Now here's the thing, they should be good to the end. Our top 11 are not going to be, for the most part. What do you think about 7 or 8 laps are going to do on a set of tires, Mike, going through a couple heat cycles there?
It may give them more of an advantage later on in the run, and it may give them a little bit of advantage at the beginning of the run too, just depending on how hard the guys ran on those green flag laps there. And then the heat cycle can make a little bit of a disadvantage too. But we will see what happens.
We just saw pit stops. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, it'll be the restart from Pocono Raceway.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
We're back, everybody. We're about to go green. Here we go. Putting lap 40 on the board. Brian Macklin, your race leader. Sean Macklin right behind him with a hell of a launch.
Yeah, that was a really good launch right there.
Able to clear Chad Coleman and the inside lane. Looking for the 18 who has 2 wins on the season already.
It's the battle of the Macklin brothers here.
Yeah, they're going to be side by side. Where's Chad Coleman going to go?
Well, Kevin Brown sideways off the tunnel.
Here we go. 18 with a good turn 3, but the 30 with the run.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see what Chad's going to do here. Oh, the 18 blinked a little bit.
That could be sketchy.
Remember what happened one time this year when these Macklin brothers were side by side for the lead on the last lap? They made a little bit of contact.
Yep.
Ooh, wow. That was Glenn Campbell back there sideways off turn 1. Oh. Oh, it's going to be tight there. Fuller close on Schweikart.
Gonna put a hurt to Fuller's run. He's gonna have to back up and get it going again. Here comes Schweinhart now. I think he's just happy to push Coleman back up towards the front.
They're 3 wide back here. Wortman's 3 wide in the middle. Oh, there's going to be a little bit of contact almost with Randy coming up there.
Look at the damage on Kevin Stone's.
Yeah, that's from that lap 1. That's that lap 1 inside wall hit that Kevin had.
Wortman still looking to try to make the pass into the tunnel.
Hey, one thing, Brian Wortman's been pretty solid tonight. I mean, he's been running lower half of the top 10 to early to top 15 all night.
I think
Pocono
Pocono is one of the racetracks he must enjoy because he has been running well tonight.
And good to see Brian having a good night out there.
Move him up another position into 14.
You got Simley looking to the inside of Fury here off of turn 1.
Oh, Fuller got loose and decided to stay in the throttle and try to use it.
Yeah, Fuller's looking to the inside here to strike hard into the tunnel here. Oh, a little bit of a slider. What a slide right there.
Good job.
That was both of a slide job. It was Fuller coming up and then Schweikart off of turn 2, sliding down. Well, now we're going to be side by side here. What is Glenn Campbell going to do? Is Glenn going to stick behind or is he going to pull out?
Definitely trying to use that run on the inside lane.
And Schweikart powered through turn 1 right there.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Here goes Simley. Simley's looking to the inside of Fury. He wants somebody to go with them. Beasley's going to go with them here. We're going to be side by side in the tunnel.
Beasley with a really good tunnel turn, at least entrance and exit.
He might make it 3 wide. No, he's going to decide to push. Oh, he drove it in there. Simley sliding up. This outside line is going to go here. Simley's going to get drop kicked here.
Yeah, he's still kind of holding his own on that inside, though.
He is.
He is definitely making it difficult for that outside lane.
And Tommy Ryan is, I mean, you got, and now Parker's pushing Ryan. You got people pushing the pusher here.
Which, if you guys don't know, makes everything very sketchy.
Ooh, Fieri sideways in front of these guys. Beasley's going to get a run here. This is the best battle right on track right now. This group here.
Yeah, if Scott can't find a hole to jump into, he's looking to drop all the way back to behind Randy Yoakum, but it looks like right behind Josh Parker there might be a slight hole.
And Randy's trying to get up there as quick as he can and fill it and be like, no, 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 no.
Hey, to the back of the line, please.
Oh, Scott. Oh, I was going to say, he slid his way in there.
Look at this. Yoakum trying to still make the pass.
As we're watching this, Justin Fuller went to P3 past Chad Coleman up there. And Beasley's looking to the inside of Fieri here. Yoakum and Simley still side by side behind those guys.
Gary having a nice bounce back after the wreck on turn 1.
Tommy Ryan pushing Beasley here. Josh Parker going with them. Josh got a really good run right there in one.
And a couple in front of him knew it. That's why they came down and kind of blocked the run there. Move him up another position.
Looks like that battle's going to settle down for a little bit here.
Which is very unfortunate because I was very much enjoying that.
Yeah, it looks like Sean Macklin. Oh, Sean's looking for the lead here. Peeking to the inside of Brian into turn one.
Oh, that's more than peeking.
Oh, he drove it in deep.
It's stuck, but Brian's going to have the exit off. Wow.
And if Sean can stay side by side down here through the tunnel, Fuller is going to really gain on those guys off of turn two. This is for the race right here. Oh! I thought Sean was going to slide up there a little bit more.
Fuller's got to be licking his chops.
He wants those guys to get side by side again here. Well, Fuller may just push Sean and see if he can get Sean past Brian. So we got 12 laps to go. Oh, this is going to be a very interesting tunnel turn here. Oh, now Fuller is actually not going to push. He's going to look for it himself. Okay, Justin Fuller, he's going to get side by side with the leader. Oh, I thought Brian was going to make it, or Sean was going to make it 3 wide there for a second. This is getting good here with the lead. 11 laps to go. And Chad Coleman's coming back into this. Kevin Brown's coming back into this. Oh, this is going to go good, AJ.
Out of 2, Fuller with a good run.
He needs somebody to jump down there with them, though. Oh, I thought Sean was going to jump down there. Chad Coleman going to stay up there and push. Fuller's making this work by himself, AJ. This is very impressive right here.
Like I'm used to saying, not surprised with him.
Oh, this is going to be interesting here. What's Chad going to do? Is Chad going to stay on this outside line, or is Chad going to jump down to the bottom? Everybody knows right here in this front pack, whoever can get out front is probably going to win the race. Oh, Brian's on the wall.
That's going to drop him 7th, 8th, 9th.
Coleman looking for 3rd. And he's going to get it. Chad Coleman to P3. And here goes Sean. Sean's looking for the lead now. We'll have to go back in a second if we can. Oh, trouble! Brian Macklin's around. Glenn Campbell and Beasley and Simley. Big wreck.
Would not be surprised if we have everybody come down pit road now, but Beasley just sends it. Clips the 44. That ends up clipping the 30. Ooh, who gets smacked on the inside? Oh, it's Randy Yoakum.
That was a rough lap for Brian Macklin. Macklin got That was a rough lap. If we can go back and see what happened off turn 1, I want to see what preceded that contact. See, we're going side by side here. Turn 1. Roller drives it in deep, gets back to the gas.
It looks like Brian's
Oh,
a
it
little
was
loose.
just, yeah, I think it was just a coming together. Brian was loose coming down and Fuller was coming up. I just think it was a little bit of a meeting together there, AJ.
And just watch what happens just a couple turns from there. You get put back in the hornet's nest, and it's really scary back here. Yep. All it takes is to get put back here and something like that to happen. Basically ends your night as the field is coming down pit road.
Yeah, everybody's coming in. They're going to probably get their last set of tires and top it off with fuel, and we're going to have a shootout here, AJ.
We are going to have a shootout. Tyler Dalton in the YouTube chat. Well, not how I wanted my 200th pole race to end, but they knew I was there.
Yes, we did. I think everybody at home knew that Tyler was one of the dominant trucks that we had tonight.
Yeah, that 19 was bad, fast all night. Honestly, he might end up with the most laps led. Might.
Yeah, I'm thinking that he did.
Anything, it could be very close. But Mike, since we're under 10 laps to go, why don't we preview next week's race?
Well, AJ, we're going to turn in 3 corners, and we're going to go to 4 corners again. And we're going out to the Midwest, out to Kansas Speedway. That's going to be a fantastic show. Kansas puts on a lot of great racing, and we're looking forward to more of the same as the Sim500 travels out to the Midwest next week.
Yeah, 110 laps around the 1.5 miles of Kansas Speedway. I've always loved Kansas, whether it's in a stock car or an Indy car. It is an absolutely fun race to watch. I can't wait for it. Granted, we got to figure out what's going to happen with tonight's race, who's going to win, and yeah. Well, I don't think we're done with the chaos.
I don't think we're done with the chaos there either. So we should get the 1 to go this time, so it looks like we're going to have 6 laps to go when we restart.
That basically tells us we're going to have just about a lap or 2 before we go into green, white, checker territory before, if we get another wreck. Tyler Dalton back in the YouTube chat. If you want some insight, it's hard to pass on the bottom. RPMs drop too much. It's also impossible to pull away as the leader as the draft is too strong. That ends up with everyone being on top of each other.
And that's kind of what we've seen later in the run is everybody at the beginning of the run, everybody's together, everybody kind of strings out for a little bit, and then once the run keeps going, that's when we all oil back together.
Well,
that's some great insight though.
Yeah, I always enjoy hearing from Tyler Dalton. There's a couple of drivers in here that if I could just pick their brains at a lot of things, it would make me a better broadcaster when it comes to stuff.
Hell, it'd make me a better broadcaster and a better driver, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd more take it to be a driver.
I would, but I also have my broadcasting hat, so I take it double way.
Josh Parker up to 3rd. Good for him.
Let's give a shout out too, as you mentioned Josh Parker. Let's give a shout out to Doy Woods right there. P4, quiet night, hanging in there, and here he is with 6 laps to go in the restarting on the second row.
Yeah, it's always fun to see which Red Bull scheme he ends up running. But our biggest mover of the race so far is Josh Parker. Our second biggest mover, you got to go all the way back to P11 for Paul Jr. As the pace car is going to duck down the road, and we are green once again. Good restart by the 38 of Chad Coleman. Oh, partner's going to send it. Oh, he's going to get tight. It's going to stack everybody up.
Oh, look at Nelson Rivera digging it 3 wide on the bottom.
Oh, he's not going to lift. He's not going to lift.
Oh, we're going to be 3 wide in the tunnel, boys.
Oh, he's not going to lift.
Now with 6 laps to go, you're not lifting. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow.
Well, he didn't lift. Oh, we're still wrecking.
Oh, strong night for Schweikart is done. Tommy Ryan had a strong night.
3 wide.
Oh.
Did
I don't know,
Brown
did Kevin
get loose, or did he get tagged by Swinehart?
I want to see that again. They're going in there. He's getting loose before he's getting hit, that's from what I can tell.
Gary, Swinehart, that Wortman.
That was Workman. That's a strong night for Workman gone.
Kevin Stone with some more damage. Eric Arnold also involved.
Fieri's in it again. That's a second one for Fieri tonight. That's rough. Well, this should be interesting. Now,
I don't think it'll end up being an attempt, but we should be going green with 3 to go.
yeah.
But we'll take our final commercial break, Mike, just so we give TranService Trucking Logistics their due for the evening. But we'll be right back, everybody.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
We're back, everybody. This is going to be a natural green-white checkered attempt. It's been a very chaotic and fun Pocono race to broadcast up in the booth. Mike, what's the takeaway you can take from tonight with how basically nuts this race has been?
To put it in one word, I'd say chaos. Chaotic. That'd be the word I'd use tonight. And very, I think you and I both had our anticipations going into tonight's race of what we thought we were going to get, and I think you and I both think that, yeah, we got completely the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is in a good way. In a good way.
Do you think we make it around to the white flag?
I don't know. I think they will, but never say never, right?
Yeah.
especially they try going 3 wide through the tunnel again.
This is the time where I think we're going to see multiple drivers from the drop of the green flag to push it 3 wide. Well, only one way to find out.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. 2 laps to go. Kevin Stone jumps out first. He's making a 3 wide. Oh, who is that back there going 4? That's Kevin Brown making a 3 wide back there too. Oh, Wertman, Stone, contact, Macklin,
Oh,
caution.
we're sideways. It's a caution.
And we were going to have a green-white checkered attempt number 1.
Hey, you weren't kidding about chaos, pal.
And Kevin Stone was the first one that jumped out to make it 3 wide, and I think him and Wertman and Macklin just all met together here. I mean, was that a little bit of netcode right there?
That's what I was saying.
That looked like netcode too.
That
when
looked like a lot of netcode. Being a better view of it. That's not a better view.
Third time the charm?
Probably not.
Let's just like go look at this here. There's a little contact there. Contact there. And now Wortman's gonna come up the racetrack and yep, netcode.
That's a lot of netcode.
Wow, that's a crazy amount. I mean,
Wouldn't
they were
be
probably gonna make.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the exact same thing you were, that I thought they were gonna make contact anyway, but way early on in the wrecking process, to the point where it didn't even give the 18 a chance to try to save. Wow. Well, that'll bring our 7th caution of the evening. This will be a green-white checkered attempt. We only get 2 of them.
Wow, we might use both of them tonight, AJ. I don't know about you, but we may use both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because business has completely picked up. And if you thought they were driving wild earlier, pay window is open, and we're just getting to the end of the race. I don't know what to expect. Fuller has been the dominant car since Tyler Dalton had his accident. But I really have no clue what to expect here, because Chad Coleman, if he can get a better restart than he has been. Mike, I can't tell you who's going to win this race.
Oh, that can be a toss-up for anybody in this top 4 or 5 or 6 right now. How about this though, AJ? Looking at some of these guys in the top 10. How about that 15 of Wild up there? Alan Wild. We have not heard much from him tonight. He's kept it clean, and here he is sitting in P7.
Hopefully, we didn't just give him the good old broadcaster's curse there.
If he does, he can DM me later and be like, "Why'd you do that?"
That's kind of why Tyler's like, "Stop picking me. Don't pick me." There are a couple people on Monday nights that say the same thing.
But we gotta have those picks, you know. Sometimes you hit on them, sometimes you don't. Most of the times we don't. But hey, you know, when you pick them and you look right, you're like you think you're a genius.
I do enjoy feeling like a genius.
Don't we all?
Depends.
Depends on the time and the place and the topic.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it. Like if I'm talking to the wife, there's no way in hell I come out of that feeling like a genius.
See, I don't have that. I don't have that problem yet.
There you go. Yet is a key word. Lights are off on the iRacing pace car Ford Mustang.
And this is gonna be interesting here. I'm very interested to see if Parker gets a good enough run into turn one, if he's gonna try to pull out and make it 3 wide for the lead, if he times the restart right in that third spot.
I'm curious if somebody's gonna try to like lay back just a little bit to try to get a really good run. This is gonna be interesting, people. Oh, just a half a lap away from hitting our first green-white checkered attempt. We do get 2 of them every race. This is our first attempt. Justin Fuller, Chad Coleman, your front row. In your second row, you have Josh Parker, Doy Woods. Your row 3, you have Nelson Rivera and Tommy Ryan. Row 4, Alan Wild and Kevin Soda rounding out that top 10. Paul Jr. and Brian Wertman making it back up to that 10th position.
Guys are scrubbing off their tires. They're ready to get at it here as we're coming to the green. Intensity level is really raised up, and these boys are going to be aggressive.
It's probably through the roof.
Let's see. It looks like Parker's laying back a little bit here. Yeah, Parker's laying back here. He's going to try to time it.
Well, he didn't time it that great.
No, he didn't. I thought he was going to time it a little bit better. Fuller did a good job. Parker's going to get second. Yeah, he's going to get second from Chad Coleman. He's going to slide up there. Yep. Fuller trying to break the draft, snake the way down the back stretch.
100% working, too. See how well Parker and Coleman...
Oh! I thought there was a little bit of contact with Alan Wild. Kevin Stone, we're jamming up here. We're 3 wide back here.
Oh, that's not good.
Justin Fuller wants to get the white flag and not see another
there
yellow.
Oh!
Oh, no! Oh, Wertman's in it. We got a minefield of race cars down here in the grass.
There's the wreck. Wertman gets it involved again. Eric Arnold, Yoakum, Wetzel.
Let's take a look at how that began again with Kevin Stone. Did he just come down, or did... I'm just curious to see this. He's getting a push from Simley.
Oh, he just tries to hit the corner perfectly.
I thought he probably thought he was clear with that push, is what I'm thinking. He thought he got clear enough from that push to come down, but he wasn't. He wasn't fully clear.
Paul Jr., Alan Wild, Evan Brown.
Well, Alan can DM me now and be like, "Why'd you say that about me under the last yellow?" I did it to him, AJ.
Sean Macklin gets involved.
He's got a nose on the front of that car. Oh, that's his nose too.
Well, we were almost to the white flag.
I saw those guys. I think it was Alan Wild made contact in the going in the tunnel turn. That's what stacked everybody up back there, and that's too many people and too little of space going in that corner.
What is Justin Fuller saying right now?
Oh, actually, AJ, I'm just hearing this now. Kevin Stone's screen went black on his computer, and then he dropped due to packet loss, and that's why he made a harsh turn down there.
Oh. That was abrupt.
Yeah, so that's I think that's the reason why he kind of made a move, because they were talking about it in the chat.
Because Kevin Stone, usually, for the most part, very clean, doesn't normally make those kind of mistakes where he knocks out a couple drivers. Wow. Well, one more attempt. If we get another caution before we get that white flag, race is over. But let me try this again. What's going through Fuller's head right now? You know, we've had caution after caution leading towards the end of this race. He's been the leader. What's he thinking?
He's thinking, like, can we stay green to the white this time? Or, at least let me be out front by the next time you guys wreck? That's what he's thinking. And he's probably planning on how he wants to do this restart again, too, AJ. Because he's been timing it really good the last couple ones. And he knows he's got to do it one more time.
Yeah, I'd be on more of the fence with, of course, now would be the time where somebody ends up passing them. But he's been pretty good on all these restarts, but now he's going to have Josh Parker to his outside. Well, lights are off on the iRacing pace car. One final time, we are hitting green.
That we are.
This race has been pure insanity, and it's been great.
These boys are going to buckle down and strap in, pull those belts tight one last time here. Let's see what Parker's going to do here. Restart in second. The first car on the bottom here on this restart.
Fuller takes the outside.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. He's been restarting on the bottom, and now he's taking the outside. He changed it up. Sometimes you gotta change it up.
This is gonna be nuts. Can Parker get the restart of his life? And Justin Fuller do what he's been doing for the later part of this race? Stay tuned. You will find out. Which, speaking of stay tuned, once we hit that checkered flag, stay locked in All-Star 15 TV. We're going to interview our podium finishers tonight.
As that pace car is going to pull off here, and for the final time tonight, AJ, we're going to see a green flag.
Great launch by the 51. Is he going to be able to clear the 81? Yes, he is.
Yeah, Josh is going to slide in there. Nelson just trying to side draft Chad Coleman in turn one.
Oh,
Tommy Ryan.
It's loose.
And Tommy Ryan is making headway up there on that outside line. Clean through turn one. Can we get through turn two next? Oh, Doy Woods sideways. Brian Wertman was sideways back there. We are looking clean so far,
Through
and we're looking for this white flag, AJ.
It is sponsored by Wrestling with Nerds.
Now we're gonna see what Josh Parker is gonna have anything for Justin Fuller. What I'm thinking he's gonna need to do, he needs to get a good turn one, and he needs to set up his pass on the tunnel turn.
Even if he
That's
can
what
get there.
He's gonna run. He's gonna set this up for the tunnel turn right here. Chad Coleman's gonna get a little bit of a push. Ooh, I think Fuller maybe just a little bit too strong going into the tunnel. Into turn 3 for the final time.
Fuller with a 2/10 lead and growing out of turn number 3, heading back to the line. Justin Fuller is going to win race 12 at Pocono Raceway. Coming home second, Josh Parker. And in third, you have Chad Coleman. That was a crazy race.
Yes, it was. Good to see these guys finish on the green too there, AJ.
Absolutely. Give us a couple seconds while we get our interviews set up and squared away. Justin Fuller able to basically bounce back from 15th-ish all the way back to the lead. Tyler Dalton had his issue, and that basically just opened up the door for the 51.
And you were right there, AJ. Actually, Tyler Dalton did get the most laps led tonight at 25.
Oh, and they're wrecking getting on the pit road.
As Justin Fuller is going to burn it down in that unit's paint scheme here at Pocono.
A lot of damage on the rear end of that. I wonder who gave him that. Obviously post-race.
He's burning it down pretty good there.
Looking for our drivers to interview. Currently waiting on them to join the Discord. Alright. We'll start with P number 3, Chad Coleman.
Oh, Fuller's there now, AJ.
Okay, we're going to do Justin Fuller first. Justin Fuller, AJ and Mike in the broadcast booth. Holy cow, dude. Just struggle early from 15th to fight all the way back. That truck was on fire tonight.
Yeah, it was good. I botched qualifying, so I didn't get the pole. And then this is probably one of my better tracks. And then I really got loose in the one on lap 1 and went to the probably 8th, 9th, or 10th, somewhere around there. I'm just trying to save it. And then I feel bad. I got into Robert. It's the second time I've wrecked the guy. I know he kind of checked up for something that was happening in front of him that I couldn't see quick enough. But it's just unfortunate that I couldn't get off of him quick enough. Kind of caused that lap 1 wreck there. And then I feel bad for Brian. I'm kind of watching it right now. Just kind of doored him a little bit. And once we got stuck there on lap 51, it just long for the ride at that point. But yeah, I love this track. I've actually never won here at Sim500. So this is my first win here at Pocono at Sim500. I was really trying to knock that one off the bucket list tonight. But I always usually have something that goes wrong. And things went wrong. But we were just able to capitalize and come on top.
Yeah, talk about how it was trying to get through the field once again, because you made it look easy. It did take a little while, but, you know, from you getting dropped back to 15th, we saw you just inch up further and further. How was it to pass out there? Because it looked difficult.
It was extremely difficult. There was nothing easy about it, that's for sure. The worst part is when we all pitted there. I forgot to take tires because I had them unchecked, and so I had to go to the back there because I had to pit again. So I had to come through twice, unfortunately. But it wasn't an easy task. It may have looked easy, but I promise you, it was not easy. The draft was silly, and if you could not get a big run off the corner on somebody, you weren't going to pass them on entry because the draft is just it's worth 2 to 3 tenths of a lap easily here.
Wow. Well, before we let you go, finish celebrating because you left a hell of a smoke show for the fans at the start finish line. Got any sponsors you want to plug?
Yeah, I want to thank Sim500 and all the admins for what they do. Thanks to TranService for sponsoring the series. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks to Triaton for always keeping me looking good out here with my units, paint schemes. Thanks to all my teammates at Aftermath Motorsports. Rough night for Brian and Sean. Really unfortunate. Again, sorry to Brian. Sean had a really rough night. He had whatever could go wrong went wrong for him. So unfortunate for him. He had a really good run going. Yeah, that's about it. I think we'll go to Kansas next week, so we'll look to see if we can add another win or at least get a good finish and keep plugging away at these points and make the playoffs.
All right, brother. Congratulations once again, dude. And we will see you at Kansas Speedway next week.
Yep, have a good one.
All right, Mike. It is your turn to talk to Josh Parker. Here you go, pal.
All right, Josh, it's Mike and AJ. You got us.
Yeah.
Well, man, you started in the back. You got involved in that first lap wreck. You've battled your way from the back of the field again to podium here at second place tonight. Talk about your race overall, and did you have anything for Justin Fuller there at the end?
Yeah, it was fun. I think when it comes down to the end, I'm not sure if my damage had anything to do with it, but it was 35 seconds worth of damage, so it definitely I think impacted me well, a tiny bit, but it was fun. I mean, I don't know. It was hard to pass. With the draft, everyone was staying, kind of running the same speed, and I mean, it was nice because it would keep you in the field. So if you're going to the back for a penalty or whatnot, it keeps you in the race. Um, but if you're up front, you're kind of just you're stuck in the race. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, and a lot of the drivers were talking tonight. I think Tyler Dalton even told us once that the draft was way too strong compared to what it's previously been here, Pocono and these trucks. But let's focus off of Pocono and go to next week at Kansas. How you feeling about that? It's a mile and a half. It's completely different from Pocono that we just did, but give me your thoughts on Kansas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't run the trucks too often because I just don't like how much throttle time there is. I'm just not good at it for some reason. So with Kansas, I would hope that it's going to be a multi-groove race. Like I said, there's so much throttle time, it kind of makes it a one-groove race. Either the top or the bottom, whatever's the fastest is what you'll end up running. So, yeah, we'll just stay out of trouble like I did today. Well, actually, I didn't do that today. So we'll try to stay out of trouble like I did do today, and then we'll see where we are.
Well, before we let you get out of here to celebrate P2, is anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, everyone at Team Name, Chad, Beasley, all those guys, Kevin, Comstock, and you guys doing the broadcast, Joey, all the admins here at Sim500.
Well, Josh, congratulations. Put on a show tonight, and we'll see you next week in Kansas, all right?
Appreciate it.
And that is Josh Parker there, AJ.
Here's Chad Coleman finishing third here this evening at Pocono Raceway. Dude, you had some straight adversity you had to battle with all race to fight back to a P3. How was the truck out there? And we heard how difficult it was to pass.
Yeah, the truck for the most part setup it drove really good. It done pretty much what you asked of it. It turned with the front end and had pretty good rear grip. It's just you couldn't pass. You get beside somebody on the inside and the outside just trained you, whether it be just straight up from the draft or some side draft. You couldn't pass on the bottom, so everybody protected high. So it just made for a train race, which which sucks because this is one of my favorite tracks to race, and it just sucks the fact that you couldn't really pass.
Well, when you got in the back in the pack, probably close to like 10th to 12th, what kind of got you back up towards the front? Because we had a couple cautions and it looked like a strategy pull, but that 38 overall felt really strong. I know you just mentioned that, it did, the setup did what you wanted it to, but with passing being so difficult, you know, you had to use that strategy and you just had to pick and choose when to use those runs.
Yeah, basically what you would do is you would wait on a guy in front of you to get a big run, and when they'd go to the bottom, you just go to the right rear, and you'd get them as they went there. If you couldn't clear the guy that you were trying to pass getting in the corner, you were going to lose as many spots as the guys that was lined up behind you on the outside was going to give you. That's kind of the way that was. Like, and I mean, I had good speed on on the long runs, right, like we had at the first of the race. It's just right there at the end. It took me about a lap or two to kind of get going. So I couldn't really help Josh right there, and him, and Fuller just basically stayed 2/10 apart for the last 2 laps.
Well, we go to Kansas Speedway next week, completely different types of racetracks. What are we going to expect with these trucks, and even with yourself going to that 1.5 miles?
I kind of hope the groove moves around a little bit, but probably I'd say more than likely we're going to be stuck up against the outside wall.
All right, brother. Well, before we let you go celebrate the podium finish, you have any sponsors you want to plug?
Just this truck was painted. This a Jim Beam truck. It's just no affiliation. We just thought it looked good with certain colors, and Trey Idson painted it for me some point last season, and so that's about it on the sponsor deal. But yeah.
All right, dude. Well, you enjoy the rest of your night. Congratulations on the podium finish, and we'll see you next week at Kansas, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, that was our podium finishers. Mike, take us home, pal.
Well, AJ, we saw a wild race tonight. I mean, that was a great show that the Sim500 guys put on for Pocono. Another thing to mention here before we let you go, Walzenbach. Well, he was 5 laps down at one point, and he somehow finished 20th on the lead lap after all that. So good to see
all those cautions towards the end of the race.
Yeah, good to see Walzenbach back on the lead lap and finish in the top 20 after all the dust settled. But great night once again. Looking forward to going to Kansas next week. Completely different track than what we saw tonight. But for the most part, great show, and we'll catch you next week, AJ.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in to All-Star 15 TV's broadcast of the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. Thank to all our sponsors. You can check them out in the description of this video. Check out all their links. Can't wait to see what Kansas does, Mike. And thank you for being up in the broadcast booth with me again.
Safe travels back there, AJ.
Yeah. Now, from Philadelphia to Pocono, now back to Connecticut. We will see you guys next week at Kansas.